recall, last month I gave an overview of the entire curriculum, but also communicated that because of the requirement of HIV AIDS in the elementary building, that we were going to have to go back and review that portion of it. So tonight, the only thing that we will be looking for the board to approve is the use of the MyFi survey, our current middle school text, our current high school text, minus chapter 25, because we've not reviewed chapter 25 yet, and then the advisory board's definition of sexual activity. So it's just those four components: survey, definition of sexual activity, middle school text, high school text, minus chapter 25. So all of those materials are available in central office if anybody would like to come in and review them. The other things that I mentioned at the last meeting are all legally required as far as parents being able to opt out. All of those needing to have 2 board hearings when you do review the other curriculum materials. So all the other things I said last month will still apply, separating the students by gender for the instruction, those kind of things. So that's what we're looking at for the board to approve tonight.
This is to approve the reproductive health text materials.
Correct, yeah, and a couple other, the MyFi survey, which we talked about, is a statewide, it follows the national survey to assess the program that we have, so we can tell whether we're making progress after we start implementing the curriculum. So the MyFi survey is a part of it I would like to have approved. The Reproductive Health Advisory Board had a definition of sexual activity that I shared in the last board meeting. The middle school text and the high school text minus chapter 25, because that whole chapter is on STIs, and the committee did not have an opportunity to review that. We didn't know that was, STIs are mentioned in other parts of the book. We didn't realize there was a whole chapter on it later on in the book. So right now it's just the MyFi, the definition of sexual activity, middle school text, and the high school text minus chapter 25.
Do I have a motion to approve what the superintendent just described?
As presented.
As presented. Okay, do you have a second? Okay, now, any discussion?
I guess my question is, if they have the text and the chapters in there and it's something we're uncomfortable with, we're still giving it to them. It's not like we can say, don't look at this chapter, especially when it's going to me. So, I guess because I don't know specifically what's in there, I'm curious what the concerns are with that chapter.
It's not so much that there's any concerns, it's just the way the law is written. Even if it's in a textbook that you've adopted, if it has anything to do with reproductive health or sexually transmitted diseases, that has to be reviewed by the advisory board. So it's not that there's anything wrong with it, or we won't end up using it. It's just by process. Even if it's in a textbook you've adopted, if it deals with those topics, it has to go through the process.
So you're saying it could come back and add chapter 25?
Oh, yes. I would say very, very likely.
Yeah, I would think so.
And it's more of a timing thing for the committee, because we are going to have to reconvene to talk about the elementary HIV, AIDS, etc. We'll do it all in one meeting. So rather than try to squeeze it in before this meeting, our goal is to have that meeting at the end of January. Then we'll be back in February for the new materials, March for the new materials, and then we can start teaching it after the board meeting in March.
Is there any reason we need to approve that textbook before that chapter there is?
Yeah, because we're on trimesters, and the committee felt very strongly, I think the teachers feel very strongly, I feel very strongly, we need to start using the materials that we have, particularly the middle school text, because if we wait until March, that'll be another group of students on a trimester that won't have any information given to them. So at least this will allow us to start tomorrow using these materials in the 7th grade, the 8th grade. And so we won't have another group of students moving through that won't have this.
Yeah. I guess it just feels like, to me, that then we're almost putting them in a position where they have to accept it as a committee. And maybe they already are, and that's why you're recommending the rest of it.
Are you talking about chapter 25?
Yeah.
I really don't think the committee's going to have any concerns with the textbook. It's more of a procedural. It really is just a procedural. They have to review it. That's the law.
They just haven't had time to review it, so you can't include it legally.
If they did have issues with it, what would we do? Would we have to change the book that we use?
Now we might have to rip out the pages or do something to that respect so they can have access to it. I don't foresee that happening.
Right, but just,
They've already looked at the other chapters where bits and pieces of that chapter is already been used
That is
But that would happen before the students have access to the book,
do
right?
that.
Well, the students have access to the book right now.
Oh, I
And
see.
think that's the comment, but
Oh,
that's
okay.
what Chris is saying. They've had the book for, we've used the book for a couple of years. But we've not taught those chapters in the book. That's how I understand it.
Now they'll all be kept for life.
See the minutes, yeah, it's like the word thing, so we want to treat it.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the 7th, 12th grade reproductive health text materials and the survey and the text minus chapter 25, please signify by saying aye. Opposed?